Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's play some more TerraScape, shall we? Continuing with our guide for complete beginners, and moving on to the second scenario, which is Timberland. So, we haven't played on a map with multiple little islands, and we'll just do that now just to see what that's like. So this scenario says a kingdom can only flourish if it is rooted in a robust society. For this, we will need villages and cities in which townsfolk can thrive and are supplied with important goods. We should make sure that we have a plentiful supply of good timber to carry out our ambitious plans. Okay, so for this particular scenario, we're going to be focusing on decks that let us gather wood from the forest. And you'll see that with these scenarios, some of the decks that you used in the previous scenario may not be open. And there's not very many decks at first, and then they start to open up more and more, which is a good way to introduce you to different types of decks. So, our main scenario objective says we need to do 0 out of 16 timber requirements, and they want us to unlock the settlement deck for the very first little main quest here. So we got to place our keep. First thing we got to do. And I'm going to put it way over here. And why am I doing that? Again, I just want it out of the way. You see that when we put down the keep, it can chill right here. It doesn't change the biomes of anything next to it, and not too many cards even get a benefit from the keep. We can look at that, but I usually just move it away, and then I didn't want to disrupt any forest or anything like that because we need forest for this. So they want us to go here and unlock the settlement deck. It's in fact the only one that we can unlock. So I think looks like in this scenario, we're only using settlement, forestry, and community decks. So we're going to open up the settlement deck. Boom! We just completed a quest objective. Now, how about that? You can see at the top, we've unlocked cottages. We're just going to click over here on our deck and draw from the settlement deck, and we get 4 cottages. Yeah, there is no benefit that I can see from the keep. So it's just kind of this like neutral site that you place. And while we're talking about that, you see how like it looked like there was water and rivers, but then we're just on these like flying islands, which is separating everything. The separation doesn't mean anything. Remember, logistics mean nothing. It's just a game board. And I can put these wherever I want. So we need to get gold rating, 4 of them, to acquire the next objective. And that's going to be not easy at first. Because remember, cottages, you could see, you could get a display of the information if you mouse over the card, but also if you have it selected in the bottom right, you could see this. And the main thing it's going to get points from would be fruit farms and megaliths. So I'm going to push Alt to turn on the display for each tile, and there's a megalith here. This is a good rating, so if I put that down, that is a gold rating, so we get 1 out of 4. And then it also will benefit from being close to the other cottage, so put it here, and now we have 2 gold. Now I want to go here to like make a longhouse, but you could see if I do that, I don't get the benefit of the megalith, and we don't get gold. So I'm actually going to put it here. Now, you see I'm destroying these berry bushes, which you might say is not wise, but in this scenario, there's no food deck, so we're not going to be placing fruit farms, so it doesn't really matter. And let's just do this to unlock the quest and see what we want to do next. I kind of don't mind the fact that we didn't build a longhouse right there, because I like to complete the quest so that I can see what the next objectives are. So in this case, now they want us to make longhouses, and they want us to unlock the house by leveling up the settlement deck. That's easy. Now, we don't care about gold braiding, and we can just turn all of these into longhouses, actually. So I could go 1, 2, 3, and 1. And I put that there, by the way, destroying the tile, but getting the benefit of the megalith and the longhouse. So I got 40 points for placing that. That allows us to level up our deck. The only thing we can get right here, you see these bars that drop down level 1, level 2, and so on, progressing from left to right. This bar has to be touching the deck for you to be able to unlock it, and you need any prerequisite decks along the chain. Forestry has no prerequisite, so we can get it. I'll just unlock it right here. And we get an extra deck selection slot. So what that means, and an extra card, special card slot. Now what that means is when we click on this, we'll see, I'll show you right now, here's the special card selection, and now we have 2 decks to select from. And we could take Forestry, which, you know, is going to be giving us a guaranteed lumberjack, but we're going to take Settlement because we don't have any quest for Forestry right now, so let's just wait on that. But the reason I put this house here was to get as many points as possible to level up our keep and give us more draws. I want to build a longhouse, but remember, the sequencing matters. So now that I have this longhouse, for example, I can get 25 points, a gold rating for this cottage, whereas before it was terrible because it was out of the megalith range. So I'm going to put that here. And then if I go here, it's only 10. This is 25, right? If I go here, it's only 10. This becomes 20 because of the river tiles, so I'll put that here for sure. I can get the well. I can go here, or I can go here. Let's go 20. However, if I go here, this will lock this out of being a longhouse. So instead, I'm going to go here. Oh, well, never mind. I made a longhouse up there, so this house will not ever upgrade. And that's okay. We've made another longhouse, which means we can do this. And we'll just go ahead and do settlement again. We're going to get a well, but we're just focusing on longhouses at the moment. This will make another one. So we've got 3 of the longhouses we need. And now I can really start placing some high value cottages because of all these longhouses. So I can go here. I'm getting river points here. And this is high up. But let me show you here. Let me go settlement. It's only 1 level higher. So if I do this, it will still build the longhouse for us. And what the game generally does, in my experience, if this was 1 higher, it brings it down. It levels the land for the merged building that you create, and it does so based on the majority of the kind of horizontal location. So, or I'm sorry, the vertical location. So in this case, most of it was down, so it brought that tile down. Now, if there's more specific rules governing that, please let me know, but that's how I kind of interpret it. So let's go ahead and then drop 20, 25. I'm just going to keep taking cottages so that we can get this quest done. And we're making points. I'm going to put this here and put this here. We're making points that we can use to level up the settlement deck. This isn't great. So here's what I'm going to do. See, this is only getting me 5. But if I make this a longhouse down here, it'll give us many more points. So now I can get 25 points if I put this here. And we just need 1 more settlement deck. Ooh, we got a super well. And we put that here. We complete the quest. Bing, bing, bing. And now we've got another longhouse. You could see the people going about their business. And now we just need to unlock houses. So if I build a well, wells like rural and they like longhouses. So You know, you could see like this is a 40-point well. That's great. I'll take it. But also, this well is enormous. So 75, can we do better than 75 here? How about 105? And you see that this well does not lose points from another well. It just gets 0. So that's pretty good. Now, that might be because this well is special. We'll look at that to compare, but 105 is ridiculous. And you can see we're at level 3 for the settlement, or we're level 2. We're working on level 3 for the settlement deck. So I'm just going to keep clicking on this because I don't care about the forestry deck right now because I don't have a quest for it. And I want to know what they want. So I'm just going to do this, and that's 40 points. 35. There we go. Keep. Oh, no, that's the keep. Never mind. I was all excited. This is good. This unlocks the last deck that we can get, the community deck, so we'll get it, sure. Gives us a bunch of a boost. So we have 9 draws, and we can build a tavern, but we don't want to do a tavern just yet. We want to keep going. Oh, however, this is a consequence. It gave us a new deck, but it did not give us a new slot. So this is a situation, the first time we've seen this, where I want the settlement deck, but I don't see it. So I have to take something else. I'll take the forestry deck, fine. We get a couple of lumberjacks. I'm not going to place those. I'm just going to go to settlement. Yes. Okay, so normal wells do lose points from proximity to an existing well. That was just because that was a special well that it did not lose points. So we love that well. I'll take the 40 up here. Again, we don't have settlement. I'll just take the obligatory community. There is no limit to the cards in your hand, so it doesn't matter. You can keep these cards as long as you want. Settlement, please. Oh, I wasn't even looking. I have all these cottages. I was like, I must have been gifted some cottages. Now we're good. For the quest, I didn't see it. Or I just was being foolish and didn't see it. That's pretty much the story of my life. But here we go. We've got a bunch of... We don't need to draw any more settlement decks. So let's just keep placing... This is not part of the Longhouse. I just put that there to score more points on those so that we can level up. We're almost there. There we go. And we got the house. So, a few things happen. I'm going to right-click to clear what I'm holding. I built enough Longhouses for now. And now we need to create royal forests, and they want us also to create city districts, which we get by just building 4 houses. So the royal forest is a merged building that is now available, and we could see it. You might not actually see it. You might see question marks because you need these forester tiles, which we need to level up the deck. So I'm going to place some lumberjacks now so I can level this up. So what we want to do is just put this wherever we can get the most points, not on the river, of course. And lumberjack obviously loves thicket, grass, forests. So there's 60. That's fine. I think I saw a 75. Yeah, put it there. There we go. Now we get the forester. And this is what we need. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on the forestry deck. This is what we need for the royal forest. So I'm just going to... It's the same as a longhouse. You could see the pattern right here. It's 4 of these. I'm just going to go ahead and put a royal forest over here. 1, 2... We're going to try to draw the forestry deck again. We didn't get it, but we got houses, which we need. Here's the forestry deck. And 3 and 4. Now that is a royal forest right there. Amazing. Now we get a place forest tile, which I will put over here by this lumberjack. And we will take settlement. We're not going to even bother with community right now. We're just going forestry so we can get more foresters. And I'm doing this just so I can place a bunch of royal forests. Now these want forest tiles. This is a great place for it actually right here. Settlement. Forestry. You'll notice how I only got one forester that time, and we got the sawmill. So this is going to cut into what we can do, because it's going to give us a sawmill when I don't really want that. I want foresters so that I can make these royal forests. Here we go. I got 3 that time. Great. And you see how when you make the royal forest, check out all of the rewards. You get 10 points. So not all the time, but sometimes as merging a building, you do get points as a reward. It will tell you, though, down here if you do. So we get 10 extra points. We get a place forest tile. Everything around it becomes a forest. And it generates thicket on those tiles for the biome type. So it gives the resource forest and the biome thicket. And now we're just going to keep placing these. I'm going to put a forest right there, so that when I take this next, I'm going to take settlement. Here we go. Okay, so you see I'm running out of draws, and I'm trying to like beeline towards the royal forest. It's going to take me a while to get there, because you can't guarantee that you get these foresters, and you can't guarantee that you get enough of them. So even if I click on this, you're going to see that forestry isn't even a choice. The forest deck isn't a choice. So I'm going to take settlement again. Now, why do I keep taking settlement instead of community? I'm doing that because my side quest is for making a city district, and these are easy ways to get points. So now that we're out, we have to actually just place the tiles that we have to score points. So I'm going to put down a sawmill, and a sawmill loves thicket, forest settlement, royal forest. So let's just put it like 90 points right here is ridiculous. Let's take it. We immediately get a new draw, which we can take a forestry deck. We get the forester we want for right here. We just made another royal forest, and we need only one more. I'm going to put a forest down. Just continue expanding this forest area. And now let's start working on the houses. So I'm going to make a new area for myself where I can build these houses. Houses are tough. You know what? Wait. Okay. So before, what I said about putting the keep off to the side, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything for the cottages, but you see we get 30 points for the houses. So let's put houses right next to the keep to get these points. And then once we start getting some urban tiles, we're going to get even more points. So, you know, I'm still learning the game as well. And I kind of don't care too much about my keep. But if you were working on maximizing your points, you might say to yourself, well, okay, this is going to give me points not right up first. I have to level up my settlement deck several times. But then when I start building urban districts, if I'm going to go for like a more city build type thing, I want my keep in a good location for that. Now, I'm not too worried about it because you can see we're getting a ton of points. And as we spread out the urban, the houses will just continue to generate points for us as we build more city districts. So I'm going to build a city right there, or a house right there, and then there we go. And just by doing that, just by putting these down and creating these urban tiles, making these merged buildings, we have 5 draws. Now, the tavern, if I put this down, you can see the tavern actually gets points from rural and from longhouse. It's not really a city-type establishment. So instead, if we drop this tavern down here, these people love it. So we can get 90 points right there, for example, or 90 points over here. And that's amazing. And then let me take the settlement deck. Now check this out. If I build a cottage, doesn't care about the tavern, doesn't care about the well, just cares about longhouse, river. You can see, again, the light blue outline on the hex indicates the synergy. I'm just throwing in longhouses everywhere to get points. The remove resource card is but what it does is it makes all of these cottages more valuable. because once I create rural area, once I put this down, then we start being able to score more with the cards that we have to unlock more draws for ourselves. And that's really all I'm doing. Now I've got some houses, and we can just put these over here. And we're going to go here. We're going to go to the forestry deck. There's some foresters. Sweet. We're going to go to... Ooh, I want settlement, but no, we're going to go to forestry. Yep, we got more foresters. Great. Forestry. I'm going to keep taking forestry because... actually, I have enough now. Cool. All right, so then I'm going to put this over here. Remember, you have to have room, and we did it. And we leveled up the forestry deck all the way, and we got the charcoal burner. Now they want us to place gold lumberjacks and forest settlements. All right, so I'm going to put down a forest right there. And let me draw into a settlement. A house there is amazing. I'm focusing on houses right now because they're giving me so many points. We did get a market, which, you know, okay. Yeah, it's best in the city, I suppose. It gets 10 points for urban, so let's just put this, like, here is a very good area for it. That's 80. And we're going to take settlement again so that we can go here and then there. Now, you can't build over the Royal Forest, so we're coming up to an edge point where we're going to have a hard time building, merging any more city districts over here in this urban area. So we're going to need to make another urban area over here. Okay. Now, lumberjacks with gold rating. I have 6 lumberjacks. So that's going to be pretty easy with these royal forests. Just don't get close to another lumberjack. So there's 1. There's 2. 3. And 4. Just looking for that gold outline on the frame. We completed that quest. They want us to create forest settlement. So this is this one. And we need this exact configuration. So this is kind of tricky to build, and this is where the blueprint is going to come in so handy. This looks like a great area to do it. I'm going to actually... You really want it in a thicket that's surrounded by forest. That's the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to go right-click right here and just say blueprint for 1. We have to have a well in the middle, but you might want to place that last because it gets 0 points. Remember, the order of placement matters. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to place a cottage. I'm going to just eat the cost of the cottage. This is where the well will be. And then lumberjack. House. Here. House. Perfect. And then we need a forester here. And here. And then we need a lumberjack here. And a well in here. And we've got ourselves... Look at that. Look at all the forest it makes. This thing, the forest settlement, makes forest in the tiles 3 surrounding. It gives you a place predator, 4 place game, and generates thicket on all the tiles. So what I always do to try to make sure that I can build these things correctly is I don't worry about the orientation as much as, especially for the forest settlement, just make sure that every other surrounding hex from the well you go in the... You alternate your cottages. You can never have a cottage next to each other. And the lumberjack kind of has to be in between 2 and then forester. So that's how I do that. And I can put it here. I'm going to put the blueprint for another one. And what we're going to do is just build right away. Lumberjack. Cottage. Cottage. I don't have a forester. I can put the well in the middle. It gave me 30 points. That's good enough. I'm going to take the forestry deck. I didn't get what I wanted. I'm going to take the settlement deck. I did get one more cottage. So we go here. And then I'm going to go to the... Oops, I didn't get what I wanted. That's fine. Settlement, give me more houses. And forestry, did we get what we wanted? We did. Forester, did it. Look at this. We're transforming the world with our forest settlements. Awesome. We've got 7 of the 16 jobs done, and we're working on some of these side quests as well. So they want more forest settlements, and they want us to... Main quest, earn points by placing sawmills. So those two synergize. Now, actually, no, they don't. Never mind, I lied. I mean, I think that... I don't have a... No, I do. Okay, so a sawmill does synergize because it receives a ton of points from forest settlements. So actually, let's place another forest settlement. So what you want to do is pick an area where you can ensure that you have thicket, forest, and no blocked tiles. It's actually probably helpful to turn this on when you're trying to place a large merged building like this. I have a really hard time sometimes with these larger merged structures. So I right click, I use the 1 hex blueprint, and then what I'm going to do is kind of put in what I've got. So we know, and you can bring this out, for the forest settlement here, we need a well in the middle, and then we need a lumberjack, cottages, and forester. So we don't have it all, but we can place this, and it doesn't really matter. This is the most points I can get for the lumberjack, so I'll put it there then. And then what we're going to do is say, okay, I know I need a cottage. I know I need a forester. This has to be a cottage. This has to be a forester. Let's put this here. And I can put my well in just to kind of block this out. I'm not, again, at this stage, as we're just learning, I am not trying to maximize 5 or 10 points on each play. I'm just putting things down. Oh, keep that there. Sorry. There we go. And we need settlement for sure. So that, well, we got a bunch of houses. We need city districts still. That's fine. So let's come over to our area that we're building over here. Ding. And now we make a new city district area. The first one is not going to get a lot of points, but as we turn this whole place into urban, we will start getting way more points. Get a bunch of points from a market, for example. Forestry is what we need. Perfect. We get a forester. So we're going to go right there with that. And I need a settlement. Did we get some cottages? We did 1 and 2. So the reason I did that is not only am I trying to do this side quest, but also if I place my sawmill here, now I get 3 forest settlements, so it gives us even more points. This is actually even better, 100. And this is because it gets a lot of points from forests itself, obviously. The sawmill does. However, I could save this and score even more points if I, let's just say we make this a forest settlement. Does that work? It works great. All of these are thickets and forests. So we can go ahead and get that going. We'll just place the lumberjack where it gets the most points to start this. And then you can orient this. By the way, you can rotate the camera using Q and E to just kind of like match up your merged structure over here. And do I have any extra cottages? I have 1. And I have the foresters, so we know it needs to be forester, cottage, forester. And then a well in the middle here. And then 2 cottages, and we've got it again. So can we get the settlement deck? We can't, but we need a forester anyway. Got a well. We need that, though, so that's fine. Forestry, we'll take it. settlement. There it is. 1, 2. We have another one, and this just continues to make our forest bigger and bigger, so that we continue to make these. And now if I place the sawmill, I can get 110 points right here. But I could get even more points if I put, you guessed it, another forest settlement right here. And I still need 2 more forest settlements. So let's just take our lumberjack, and in this green area, where can I get the most points? There's 70. I need a cottage, a forester, a cottage, a forester. I need a well in the middle. That's a bad well, though. Let's go ahead and get... well, I need a sawmill. There's a cottage. Okay. We got the sawmills now that we need. Well, we might need 3. Anyway. I'm going to take these houses and just score a bunch of points. So we go 1, 2. This is on a forest, so it's not a lot. But eventually, we'll make more of this urban out here and get ourselves into position to score an insane amount of points. We just did it. We get 2 free wells for completing that side quest, and it disappears. There we go. Awesome. So we have a second little urban area. We're getting points over here. We completed that side quest, and we have 3 draws left. We've made a bunch of forest settlements, but we need to make some more. And we're about halfway done with the Timberland scenario. I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope you're finding this series to be useful and fun. And in the next episode, what we'll do is finish up this scenario by completing the side quests and the main quests to continue learning the game. Take care, everybody.